Thank you, Mackenzie. What a wonderful way to remember what a great year we've had. At this time, we are down to 4.0, public participation. Any cards, Jennifer? All right, thank you. We will skip on then to 5.0, information items. 5.1 is an overview of district-wide safety training on July the 28th, 2023 by Mr. Todd Beatonbow, Director of Child Nutrition and School Security.
Thank you, Madam Board Chair, board members, and Dr. Atkinson. I have Mr. Roof is going to cue up a 3-minute video for us, even though I hate to, Mackenzie did a fabulous job on her video, but we're going to let y'all watch a little video for 3 minutes, and then I'll talk a little bit more if that's okay.
911, what is your emergency?
This is Carol at Platte Canyon. We've got somebody with a gun. It's a stranger walked in the room with a gun, not a student. Room 206, upstairs in the English pod.
Any available District 2 car to respond to the Platte Canyon High School to the English pod for our man with a gun.
And I looked back, and he pulled out his gun. Everything's going on at once kind of thing. Everything's going through your mind. Worst case scenario is what you're trying to prepare for.
Bomb squad's rolling.
You know, is there going to be a lot of shooting going on? Is there going to be a lot of casualties?
And this is going to be room 206. This is a male party, we believe adult. He has fired off 1 round.
I heard a gunshot go off.
Shot the gun against the wall just to scare them.
Responded all units from the suburban route.
On September 27th last year, when the call came in that there was a gunman in Platte Canyon High School in Bailey, the Park County Sheriff and his deputies feared the worst because they knew the worst had happened once before.
Somewhere in the back of my mind, you know, was the Columbine shooting that we had here in Colorado.
April 1999. 12 students and a teacher were murdered when 2 students planned and executed an attack on Columbine High School using guns and bombs. It was the Jefferson County Regional SWAT team that eventually responded to Columbine. 7 years later, the team was called to Platte Canyon.
Come to headquarters, active shooting, Platte Canyon High, Bailey.
Well, my initial thought was, here we go again. Of course, hoping that the outcome is different.
Shooting incident, Platte Canyon High, roll.
We wanted our feet on the ground. We wanted to be inside the school, being able to interdict if we could. But we didn't get to do at Columbine. We wanted to do here.
A lot of lessons were learned at Columbine in how SWAT responds.
As we were heading down to Bailey, I was just going through more of a checklist in my mind of making sure that I had all of my equipment.
By 2 o'clock, the Jefferson County team was in place, alongside the Park County team that had isolated the gunman in a single darkened classroom. A gunman with hostages. A gunman bent on killing.
And you want to save lives, and you want to save every life.
Everybody was on the same page that he wasn't going to let him go and that we were going to have to intervene.
We learned from Columbine. And so we had good training as a result of what happened at Columbine.
Kids are hostage at this time.
Everyone at Platte Canyon High School knows it could have been much worse. At Columbine, the killing was finished before the SWAT teams even got to the door. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Ferrugia. Tonight, what happened in this classroom at Platte Canyon High School?
It's kind of a graphic video, and if you want to watch it, it's about 27 minutes, but it's kind of reality, unfortunately. So we're planning a training. It's a welcome back to school and a safety training on July the 28th at the Fine Arts Center at the high school, and all district employees will be there for the training. I'm sure Dr. Atkinson will extend an invitation to you folks. If you'd like to come here, we have a great speaker coming. Dr. Atkinson, Ms. Bryant, and Chief Amick are going to be there to have opening remarks. As you can see from the video you just watched, it was happening in September of 2006. A gunman walked into Platte Canyon High School in Bailey, Colorado, and took students hostages. We hope that never happens here. He eventually released all but 2 girls, and they spent hours negotiating with the gunman, and he directed Emily Keys, which is an important part of the story, to do the talking for him in the Jefferson County SWAT team. In a coordinated assault in the classroom, the gunman was killed and 1 girl was saved, but Emily Keys, who had heroically helped save many classmates, was murdered by the gunman as police came through the door. This is a story, the incident told to the Emily Keys family and the SWAT teams and through the school administration with close cooperation with the local law enforcement that helped make more students were not harmed. According to the Center for Homeland Defense and Security, since 1970 through June of 2022, there have been 1,753 school shootings. There's been 580 fatalities and 1,641 injuries. So that is a lot, and that's just in the U.S. So what the part of our training we're going to talk about is our response for our reunification of students with their parents or guardians in the event that a school crisis or emergency happens in our district. The standard reunification method provides school and district safety teams with proven methods for planning, practicing, and achieving successful reunification. Again, hopefully we never need it, but we need to be prepared. We will spend some time on July the 28th talking about standard reunification method, and we'll focus on updating our standard response protocol. So we're going to change some of our protocol. We'll train all of our staff on some of the changes we'll be making on our standard response protocol. I think the highlight, unfortunately, we're going to have Mr. John Michael Keys. He was Miss Emily Keys' father. He's going to come speak at the event. Miss Burgess and Miss Baltnight and I got to hear him at a conference, and phenomenal speaker, but his daughter was the one that was killed, and or murdered, I guess you should say, unfortunately. He started the I Love You Guys Foundation to help for school shootings and reunification. So they've done a lot of research, and so we're going to use that, and we have been using their plan. His speech is going to be the black swan theory of improbable events, how the aftermath of a tragedy is also in that category that outcomes and programs I Love You Guys Foundation are unpredictably positive. I do want to thank our district safety team. We meet every month, and several of those folks are in this room. They come here and participate. We don't just, I think we're participating. We're not just sitting around the room, but we're talking about, and our schools are doing a great job on drills. I've been able to go to every school watching the drills, and they've done a phenomenal job preparing our students in the event of any kind of emergency that we have. So I want to thank them and our principals and everyone who's involved. And we have a great relationship with the police department, the fire department, and they also attend our trainings along with our SROs. So I want to thank them for what they're doing. A few things that we're doing, and you never know if it's right to tell you what we're doing or not, because we don't want everybody to know, but we are doing some great things in safety. Right now, we lock with our doors closed because that's our first mechanism of protecting our students. Usually, typically, if a door's locked and there's a gunman in the school, he'll go, or she would go to the next door. And so if we keep our doors locked, we know we're safe, keeping our students and our staff safe at the school. So that's why we preach, I guess, of keeping those doors locked during the school day. We've also, as you know, remind you, we have implemented our school guard this year, and that's a way of notifying everyone if there is an armed intruder. If a custodian's on the outside and they see someone go, they can hit their phone app and it'll notify the whole school. So that's one of the things we've done. We've applied for a safety grant for $500,000. We'll hear in September. Hopefully we'll be awarded that, and we'll keep improving our safety in our schools. But we do have a great safety team, and we have everyone who is doing a phenomenal job, and we'll just keep trying to make improvements. Thank you, Madam Chair. Any questions or anything? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd, for planning that program. That will be great.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we will move on to item 6.0, our action items. And 6.1 is the second reading approval of the proposed 2023-2024 budget with Ms. Roden, Chief Financial Officer.
All right, thank you. Tonight, we're going to have our second reading of the 23-24 general fund budget. We've had 2 work sessions and first reading back in May, so tonight I'm bringing to you the very same thing I presented last time, so I'm just doing a few slides. We've heard it over and over, but we're going to have second reading. There we go. Okay, my first slide is the revenues. We're anticipating revenues of $28,080,868. Of that, $9 million will be local revenue. We're anticipating $450,000 additional in collections. We are not recommending a millage increase, although we are eligible for one, but due to our current fund balance and status, we don't feel one is necessary at this time. We also anticipate having an additional $125,000 in interest, as interest rates are doing really well right now. From our state revenue, with the funding model that's been proposed, we're anticipating about a $77,000 increase. We do, like I said, anticipate $1.84 million of our current fund balance being used should we spend every dollar that's budgeted. Again, this is just a model, it's a budget. And within this, our current budget is $26.5 million. Things we're adding to this year's budget, our teachers' salary schedule will increase $2,500 per sale. A beginning teachers with a bachelor at 0 will make $44,683. We've increased hourly employees 1 step and adjusted the classified schedules by 4%. We're trying to play catch-up with some of the surrounding districts and be competitive with those districts. The administrative positions, we've increased 2% and put them on a 15-year step schedule. We had to roll up some EIA and ESER positions that all that funding is rolling into the general fund as well, so we're absorbing those positions in the general fund. We are planning to add an ESOL position, an alternative education position. We're having to do some match to some of those funds that we're rolling up, and a couple athletic stipends are increases. Our retirement will increase 1% next year, and health insurance will increase 3.7% beginning in January of '24. With that, we're adding $1.6 million to the budget. We are deleting, we're combining some positions, so we're netting about $104,000 decrease, and just moving positions throughout the district is another about $62,000 decrease. The total increase to the general fund budget is $1.4 million, bringing us to $28,080,869. And then our last slide gives us the way the function codes, how each dollar will be spent. The 100 series is face-to-face instruction, and the 200 are support functions. Do you have any questions at this time?
Any questions for Ms. Roden? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have heard the second reading. Do I have any motions?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the proposed 2023-2024 budget as presented by our administration and chief financial officer.
All right, we have a motion for second reading approval of the proposed 2023-2024 budget as presented by the administration. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Bontnight. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Item 6.2 is approval to send board members to the Consortium of State School Boards Association 2023 Federal Advocacy Chair in Washington in September 25th through the 28th of this year. As you know, per board policy, anytime a board member goes out of state, it has to be approved by the board. This is the advocacy for the group that we are now participating in that took the place of the NSBA's advocacy that was in January. So this will give us a chance to go back to Washington to meet with our state leaguers that are there in Washington, but we do need approval for somebody to go.
So, Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion that we approve sending board members who choose to the Consortium of State School Boards Association 2023 Federal Advocacy Conference in Washington, D.C., September 25, 28, 2023 at the Grand Hyatt in Washington, D.C.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Carey for approval to send board members to the Consortium of State School Boards Association 2023 Federal Advocacy Conference on September 25th through the 28th at the Grand Hyatt in Washington, D.C. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Derrick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Moves us to section 7.0, the executive session. Do I hear any motions?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we move into executive session for the discussion of personnel matters.
We have a motion by Ms. Baltnight to move into executive session for discussion of personnel matters. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Derrick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. We are now in executive session.